Hello you guys, and welcome to today's video, which is going to be eye swatches of the new Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 2 Rose Eyeshadow Palette. Somehow I was lucky enough to receive this in PR, so I'm very thankful that I can get this out to you guys, especially in time for the Sephora Spring Savings event. I don't believe this is in stores until about April 6th or 8th, something like that, but you can purchase it online. If you do want to purchase directly from the Patrick Ta website, I do have a link below that will get you free shipping. That is an affiliate link, so if you use that, you are supporting me and my channel, which I thank you, but no pressure to use that. If you want to see more from this palette from me, I am planning on doing a 3 looks 1 palette. If you just want to see more content from me in general, make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok. I do post a lot more over there. I'm trying to be better about YouTube, so fingers crossed here. But I hope you guys are excited for this video. If you are, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and let's go ahead and get started. So real quick, this is a look at the packaging. It is that mirror-like reflective packaging that's going to get fingerprints all over it. I don't love that, but this packaging is very beautiful. It's very elegant and luxe, even with the fingerprints. Here's what the palette looks like inside. This palette comes with a beautiful big mirror as well as this protector for your cream eyeshadows. These are 2 cream bases right here. I have not swatched this palette. I have not used a Patrick Ta palette, so I'm really excited to see this formula. I have heard beautiful things. I'm nervous because I feel like I'm going to love this, which means I'm going to go have to buy the first version of this. I already wanted that one, but you know, these are expensive. These are, you know, hitting that luxury price point, but so far of all the formulas that I've tried from Patrick Ta, I have absolutely loved, especially his lipstick. Let me find it. This is his matte suede lipstick in the shade She's Hard to Get. I am fully obsessed with this right now. I wore this for 12 hours the other day, didn't have to touch up, and my lips looked great. I need to get more of this formula. I feel like it's my favorite matte formula I've ever tried, and I've tried Pat McGrath, Lisa Eldridge, so that's saying something. So I'm definitely becoming a huge Patrick Ta fan. I don't know if my budget can afford that, but again, I'm very fortunate that somehow I'm receiving some Patrick Ta PR, not all of it, but they have been allowing me to pick out like one shade of the lipstick, the blush. I've also been loving his plumping gloss and then the brow wax. I love this brow wax. Like, I don't know if you can tell, I feel like my brows look really good. This is probably my favorite way I've had my brows in a really long time. I know I'm blabbering on, I'm sorry. I'm just really excited about this brand, and I'm even more excited that somehow I'm receiving PR from them. So I'm just feeling really grateful. I'm excited. And let me tell you real quick what I'm going to be doing for the eye swatches. For each eye swatch, I will be priming my eyes with the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly. That way I just have a nice even base, and I always use an eye primer. For most of my eye swatches, I will be using these Sigma brushes. This is one of their duos that comes in their eyeshadow palettes. This one is the E38 Diffused Crease Brush. And this is the E54 Medium Sweeper. You can buy each of these brushes individually, but if you buy their eyeshadow palettes, it comes in a kit, and I love these brushes. And for those really shimmery eyeshadows, I'm thinking I'm probably going to apply them with my finger, just that's how I typically would do that. Or if I do go in with a brush, I will be using this Revlon concealer brush. I don't even know if they sell this, but just a nice flat brush here. I don't know if I'm going to need this yet, but I might be reaching for the NYX glitter glue. I will let you know. We'll just kind of play it by ear again because I don't know how the formula is. So let's go ahead and get you zoomed in and get started. When I do my eye swatches, I typically like to swatch shades that look similar next to each other. So I am going to start off with these 2 right here. First, I'm going to go in with the lighter one and then this one. I'm honestly unsure what the names are because it does show the names on the back of the eyeshadow palette, but I don't know which one is the start. I am just going to go ahead and point to the shades. If I do find out what they are, I'll try to list them on the screen for you guys. So first, let's start off with this shade. It's picking up a good amount of product. When I go into the pan and then onto my eye and don't tap it off, I feel like it is staying on my skin very well. I'm just giving you guys kind of my first impression as I go. This is kind of reminding me right now, again, one shade, of the Kaleidos Flower Punk eyeshadow palette. You know, it had those pastels. It feels like that, where it feels really creamy. I mean, I loved that formula, so this has me excited. Okay, so here's what that first shade is looking like. It's a nude shade. It's very hard to see on my eyelid, especially because that Painterly Paint Pot from MAC is a very similar color, but it looks really soft and pretty, and that's going to be a great shade for blending out other shades or using on the brow bone. Okay, my brush has been fully cleaned off. There's no residual powder on there, so let's go into that second shade right here. This one looks like just a beautiful rosy leaning mauve shade. Really great pigment so far because I'm tapping off a lot. I'm going in very lightly, that way I don't get so much fallout. I'm going to go in now and not tap my brush off. Flipping my brush to try and blend this. I feel like it kind of wants to stay where I placed it, which is not a bad thing. So I'm going to go in with my brush and just dip into the pan, tap off, and then try it this way. I think that blended very beautifully, super easy. Again, like I said, I feel like where I pressed it in, it did stay. But when I just went in with my brush and blended it, I feel like it blended very easily. Great pigmentation here. I feel like I could either sheer it out or really build it up. Very buildable formula. And again, it is reminding me of that Kaleidos formula. Okay, so here's those first two shades applied. Next, I'm going in with this shade. I feel like I'm getting very minimal fallout, like none at all, even without tapping. Because these are so creamy, I feel like they're adhering to the lid really well. But I still tap kind of as habit. It's kind of like a safety net to not have to be so careful. The pigment on this is just absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to go in with the brush end and just try to blend these out. I feel like it is blending out, but again, also sticking where I placed it. So I am going to go in with my brush, tap, and then do this blend. With this formula so far, I'm getting that it's very buildable. So like right here, I kind of went over it a few more times and you can see it's darker there. So just be aware of that. I also feel like when I'm tapping in and then I go to another spot, it almost lightens, like oxidizes a little. This is a very plummy mauve, I would say. I can see those red tones, but I can see those purple tones and brown. I don't know if I'm going to be able to like get this all even though, because I built it. Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting that kind of ring going on. It doesn't bother me, but I just want to point that out. I'm not really sure why that's happening, but sometimes with eyeshadows like this, I've noticed that happens. I'm also not trying to say I have the best blend here. I'm just kind of trying to give you an idea of the color and a little bit of information on the formula. Next, I'm going in with this shade. It looks to have a lot more reddy rust kind of tones to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and blend with no product on my brush, just kind of seeing how these edges blend out. Something I was thinking about is kind of see how it kind of is balding right there, and then right here it's doing that darkness. That could be the primer, could completely be the primer. Now I'm dipping in, tap. Can you see I'm getting like this balding right here and then this banding right here? I'm going to try the next one with a different eyeshadow primer because I want to know if this is the primer or not. This blend was not super great, but I'm kind of doubting this eyeshadow base right now. See, because that's going on. Do get a smidgen of fallout, just a smidgen. These colors on the eyes, I feel like look kind of similar. This one just has a little bit more redness, where this one has a little bit more purple to it. As my base this time, I'm using the NARS Tinted Eyeshadow Base in the shade Light. I just want to see if this makes a difference with that kind of banding that's happening. I also wanted to say with that MAC paint pot, I was not setting my lid. I typically don't set my lid when I use any eyeshadow bases, so that could definitely be a factor. Again, I'm not saying this is a big issue because a lot of times we're not using eyeshadows just straight over the lid. I'm just trying to figure out the formula and I want to give you guys all the information that I can. I don't think that's big negative or anything. I'm trying to figure it out. So definitely stay tuned for that 3 Looks 1 palette to get my full review of the palette. I did an eye swatch video of the Melt Mary Jane palette, and my eye swatch video did not go so well. Like, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like the palette. Then by the time I had used the palette a bit, did the 3 Looks 1 palette, that became my favorite palette last year. So sometimes you just have to give it a try, especially when you're trying new formulas. Don't give up on it just because you don't like it the first time. So let's go ahead and see how this does. I'm gonna do this eye not setting it, and then this one I might set it and go back in with another matte since we are to the end of the mattes. So I'm gonna go in with this one right now, making sure my brush is nice and clean first. I'm nervous about this one because I know it's going to be so dark. I feel like I might be dipping in a little bit too lightly because I'm afraid of the fallout from the dark shade. But honestly, the fallout from this palette has not been severe at all. I guess I shouldn't say that until we get to the shimmers, but so far, so good. I love that little tone kind of peeking through. This shade is really beautiful. I'm going in with a clean brush and just blending the edges. Typically, I'd probably do a smaller brush than this, but I was just trying to keep it simple for the eye swatches. I really don't feel like I'm getting that banding like I was with the other shadows. You also have to keep in mind I have hooded eyes. I think I'm going to go back in with this one and apply it to the other eye now that I have a different base on, just because I'm curious, so I'm sure some of you guys are curious as well. I am going to tap out the base, but I'm not going to set it because I feel like I didn't set this one and I feel like it did just fine. Again, typically I do not set my eyeshadow base, so this is how I would do it. So I'm still getting that banding going on. I feel like it might not have shown up as well on this eye because it's so dark, whereas this one, you know, you can see that darker edge and then the lighter. Maybe you need to set your lid, or I don't really know. Again, this does not bother me whatsoever, but I just want you to know. I think these mattes are absolutely beautiful. I have enjoyed using them and I cannot wait to actually use them in a look. And if you like this matte formula, try the Kaleidos Flower Punk eyeshadow palette. Oh yeah, because the mattes are very, very similar. Yeah, I think that's beautiful, and I kind of like the banding because I feel like it makes it look like I have two shadows there. I feel like these tones really flatter my eyes. I feel like they really pull out the green tones in them. Let's go ahead and move on to these bases next. I'm going to start with the lighter one and then move to the darker one. I do really love that he has this protector on it. That way you're not getting powders mixed into your cream. I'm actually really excited to try these formulas. I know some people are a little bit intimidated by bases, and I kind of just think of it as kind of like a MAC paint pot. I don't know if you can use this as like a cream eyeshadow all on the eye or if they're juicier than that. Is juicy a good word? I guess we'll find out right now. I'm just kind of curious how you would use these. Like if I would use them like I use the paint pot as like a base, or if I can use them as like a cream shadow. I'm assuming a base because that's what it says. Let's just try. I'm going to be using a flat brush for this. I don't know if this brush is announced yet. This is a new brush. I actually helped create a video for this brush. Well, the whole line of this brushes. So hopefully you can't see. Or if it is, I'll list it down. But yeah, so I'm going to use this brush. I'm not sure if you can see there. It looks nice and creamy. It almost looks like a lipstick. So let's do this eye. Okay, I love this color. Like, I would just wear this color all over my lid. I love it so much. Right now, it feels very creamy, and I feel like it looks creamy. I'm curious if this sets down or not. I'll give it some time to dry. Very pigmented. I might have picked up a little bit too much on my brush, but this is, I have not dipped back in yet. I love it. I love it so much. It sucks that I haven't done the glitters yet because I kind of want to put the glitters on top of this, because it seems like it would be a nice like sticky base for the shimmers. I might do that. I'll still swatch it individually, but let's dip into the other side. Dang, I think I probably picked up too much again. A lot of product comes off, so you do not have to dip in there very hard. I'm going to actually put a little bit on my hand there just to take some off my brush. I don't want to overdo it because I feel like this is going to be really deep. Okay, I love this color again, also just on the lid. Like, okay, I'm a fan of glossy lids. They're not very practical, but I think they're beautiful, especially in photography. Like if you're doing like an editorial look or something, I just think they're so sexy. I'm kind of just like flicking out the edges to see how they blend. They seem like they blend really easy. Huge fan of those. Loving that. I do want to feel this. You know, I feel like it is kind of drying down, and it didn't move anywhere. I wonder if you could use this as a cream shadow also. With my hooded eyes, I feel like I would have to set it, but maybe if you have perfection lids, you know, where you don't have to deal with that. But I feel like it is setting down. This one's creasing a little bit on my eye. This one has like I have like an extra crease in this lid. I don't know what is wrong with me. Actually, you know what? I know what happened. I ended up getting like a sty in my eye at one point, like on the lid, and my eye like puffed up. If I can find the picture and if I'm brave enough, I might insert it. I literally looked like Quasimodo. Oh, so much fun. So I am getting a little bit of settling right here with that one. So I don't think these are going to be a cream eyeshadow, at least not for those of us with hooded lids, but I really, really like that. And you could easily set that with a shadow. We're going to we're going to do a couple things. This one I'm going to set with the eyeshadow because I just want to see how it looks. I'm just genuinely curious. I love makeup. I just love to try things. So I'm going to use this shade right here. Make sure I have it tapped out. I'm just trying to see how easily it kind of blends over this. Very, very easy. Yeah. And now on this eye, I am going to try one of those shimmers. I have to. I have to. And the one I want to put over this base is this one right here. So let's do that. I'm just going to use my finger. Haven't even dipped into this yet. Oh, I'm so excited. This is like a rusty red with a gold tone to it. Oh, that's so stunning. This was the shade I was probably most excited about for this palette. Oh my goodness. It's sparkly. It's not as opaque as I thought this was going to be. It's definitely like a topper because there's it. I mean, it's still, just building it up. Wow. Okay. Very pretty. It's definitely got that like PC sparkle look to it. I mean, I feel like I can keep building it up to make it more opaque. I'll have to look and see which ones are toppers. This looks so pretty. Okay. Man, I am jazzed about this eyeshadow palette. Okay, we are now on to my favorite part, the shimmers, the glitters. I love anything sparkly. Let's do this one first. I feel like this looks just like a beautiful, maybe a warmer gold. I'm just going in with my finger first. These look just so smooth, metallic, but then you get them on the eyes, wow, and it actually, you can see like that PC sparkle. I like sparkle more than I like a metallic. I love sparkle. I'm not really getting any fallout, just using my finger. Okay, here it is with one layer. I am going to keep trying to build it though. This does have like bigger chunks in it. Like I see a little flake right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It feels really smooth though. Like I can't feel chunks on my eyes. A chunk is not a good word. It's almost like a gold flake. I think that is a better term for that. Let me see if I can turn my light down and see if this helps. I don't know if that helps you see the sparkle at all. I do want to go ahead and try to apply glitter glue and then apply it over. I think that's going to make it really metallic though, but you know, let's just play. We're just having fun and experimenting with this new formula to me. I'm going to take some glitter glue on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to tap that. Yeah. I feel like when you do use glitter glue, you kind of take away the sparkle though, and it almost makes it more metallic. It kind of just depends on what you like. Do you like more metallic? Do you like that PC shimmer? I definitely love PC shimmer, but I also love doing my base first. And when I do my base first, that's when I will usually use a glitter glue. That way I don't get fallout on my face. Just using that without the glitter glue, I did not get any fallout so far. So there is that shade. I feel like I want to see these two next to each other, so I'm going to go in with this one. We did already do that one, but I just kind of want to see. So again, looks so incredible on my finger. So again, this has like a red rusty base, and then you have that gold fleck on top, so gold shimmers in it. This shade is really beautiful. It just reminds me of fire. Like if a Leo or an Aries were a shade, I feel like this would be the shade. Fire. Any fellow Leos watching? I am definitely all Leo. I feel like there's two types of Leos though. You have like your cocky, overly confident kind of Leo, or you have your really passionate, I don't even know how to describe that, but I definitely am not a super confident person. I try to be, but I'm not as confident as I love. I'm very, very passionate though. Anything I do, I love it. I go full force, you know? So that's the kind of Leo I am. Definitely that leadership Leo. I feel like I can read people really well. Yeah. So glitter glue on my finger. I'm wiping my finger off. That way I don't like give the pan hard pan. And then I'm going in. Definitely amps up the opaqueness of it. I feel like this shade is not what I really expected from this palette. Like the rest of it's very soft and romantic, and then you got this little fiery shade, but I guess it works because fiery passion, you know. I like it. I like that it has a little pop of something different. I love when palettes can be really neutral, but then also have that fun, playful side to it. That's a palette that I like. Okay, so here's both sides. Let me turn the light off for this one again. can definitely see how like metallic it looks there. Let's go into this one next. Definitely getting that flakiness just like I did with that gold one. Getting a little bit of fallout with this one. I might have grabbed too much on my finger. I feel like this one definitely needs a base underneath to really be able to see all the flecks going on, because this one has it has like no base to it. I'm kind of feeling like all of these right now are similar to a topper, just because they're not super opaque, which is totally fine. You use all of these mattes underneath them and you're gonna get a totally different effect than how they look on the eyes. Like right now, if I think someone saw me, they would just kind of see these little flecks and kind of my eye would look a little bit glossy. Doesn't really look like I have like a color shadow on very much. It's very soft and pretty, but we want to see more, right? So we're gonna apply some glitter glue and build it up. After I tap in that glitter glue, I wipe my hand off. That way I don't get hard pan. Tap, or else you're gonna get fallout. Press. Oh yeah. I want to see what this would look like with the base underneath. Next, I'm going in with this one. It kind of, to me, looks like a mix between this one and this one. This one's like a duochrome, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not sure if you can see, it's like pink and gold. Let's get this on the eye. I'm excited. That pink in it is way more like magenta almost. It's not as soft pink as the last one. Again, this one does not really have a base to it. It's just a bunch of shimmers. Let's build it up. Super cool. Again, these can keep building. If you want to do more glitter glue, you can keep building these, I think. And applying a base underneath is really going to help amplify these. I feel like they are hard to see because they don't have a base to them. Here is with the light off. I feel like these two look very similar, but this one has like a lighter pink to it, and this one has a more magenta, hot pink kind of pink to it, and then also just that gold. Not sure if you can see on my eye, like when I move it. Yeah, I'm really excited to see these over another, like a dark base. I think that's gonna look really pretty. We've made it to the final shadow, which is gonna be this really dark maroon. I don't know how to describe that. I would call this like a mix between a deep plum burgundy and a black cherry shade. Like black cherry is kind of what comes to my mind when I see this. I don't know whether to apply this one with my finger or a brush. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's a different texture than the other ones. It almost looks more maybe like a metallic or satin. So I don't know if I should use a brush or my finger. I think I'm gonna try it with the brush first and then go over it with my finger. Like my intuition is just telling me that this is gonna be okay with a brush. I'm gonna find out. It definitely feels more creamy in the pan than like a matte would. Ooh, and I'm getting a ton of fallout. So this might be a finger one. My intuition was wrong. Wrong girl, don't trust yourself. I'm gonna go in with my finger. I don't know what this texture is. It looks like almost like a satin. Do you see it's kind of chunky though? I love how on the camera I can see that it has like deepness around the base, and then on the inside you're getting that light reflection. I feel like it's more like a satin kind of shade. Like it has that shimmer, but it's almost matte, but it's not. It sure is freaking messy though. Or at least I'm messy. I'm gonna go in with a brush and blend this. I just don't really know what to expect from the shadow. See, I feel like this does not want to be treated like a matte. So I feel like, yes, my brush was probably the best idea. Maybe a damp brush. Okay, I'm getting so much fallout. And of course, this is like a dark shade. So this one's definitely a different formula from the rest of the shadows in this palette. At least we're on the last one. This shade is very pretty though. I do like this color a lot. I'm kind of conflicted if I like this or not. Let's do some glitter glue and just kind of see. I kind of want to go in with a flat brush, so I'm going to go in with this Revlon concealer brush. Oh my God. This was all going so well until I got to this last shade. Okay, so I'm applying glitter glue, and now I'm going to go in with the shadow. Okay, I'm going to use my finger. I feel like that was working just fine, but I just want to try it with my finger now that I have glitter glue. I feel like this needed glitter glue. It's because like without it, it's like it wasn't shimmery, but it wasn't matte, but it wasn't metallic. This is at least making it kind of metallic. I don't know. I don't know what I think of this one. Do I like it? I think I could like it if I have like a different base and then just apply it on the lid. I think the shade is absolutely stunning. Like I love how in the center you're getting that light reflection, but right here you're seeing a lot of that depth. I think if I applied like this darker shadow first and then applied that, maybe I would like it better. I don't know. I don't know. I do know that I need to do a thumbnail and I want to have 2 different color eyes. So I'm going to leave this one on and then I'm going to apply one of those matte shadows and then a shimmer over it. So what I'm feeling is, let's go this one and this one. I'm just doing this really quickly. I really like how smoothly these mattes blend out. I'm making this way more than just a plain eye swatch video. I hope you like the experimenting and you appreciate it rather than just think it's annoying because we're not just swatching it, but I feel like this is a good way to test out how things work together, how they look layered. Yeah, the glitter glue just really takes this to the next level. So here is both of those on the lid. I'm gonna go clean this up a little bit and I will be right back. As to be expected when you swatch 12 eyeshadows on your eyes, plus all the extra we did, I'm looking a little messy. But just a quick thought on this palette. So far I'm really liking it. I think those mattes are really nice. I'm excited to see how they work in an actual look, not just in a one shadow, because obviously we were getting that banding a little bit. Not a big deal to me. I'm just saying that, like, if it's a big deal to you, that's one thing. The shimmers, not what I expected. I thought they would probably be a little bit chunkier. They're very smooth. They do have that flakiness to them. Some of them do. So I just want to keep playing with this. And of course, I'm going to do my 3 looks, 1 palette. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see that, or stay tuned, because that's where I feel like I'm really going to get a grasp on what I think of this palette. So far, though, I really like it. Do I think you need this? You know, is this so unique? I wouldn't say this is the most unique eyeshadow palette, but again, I have indie eyeshadow palettes where I do have that really unique pink to gold, and I do have some shades that have a red to gold, you know? So you might not have some of these in your collection, which then makes me think, yeah, maybe you do need this. You know, if you're just someone who buys shadows from Sephora, you might not have these kind of unique shifts in your collection. So definitely up to you. I do think it's really beautiful and something that you can use regularly. And that's something I really consider when I'm going to buy a more expensive palette. Again, this is $68. If I'm going to buy something that's more expensive, I want it to be something that I'm going to use regularly, not something that's just going to sit in my collection and rot away, you know? Rot is a gross word. I should not say that, but I want things that aren't just going to be sitting in my collection going bad. I want to get use out of them. I want to use them every day. That's what I really like when I get something that's more expensive like that. Stay tuned for that video for my full review, but so far I really like it. I'm excited to play with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you'd like to see more beauty content. I'm posting on there all the time, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. When it's 2 a.m. it's for you, I don't take it through. Give me one last time.